Hello guys and welcome back to Repair and Resell. In today's video we're taking a look at this Wii remote right here. Basically today we're gonna check all the potential problem that you can have with a Wii remote and how we can fix it. So for the moment we're gonna start with the problem that you can fix without opening the controller. One of the problems you can have is that you can have problem with connecting your nunchuck or other controller through this port right here. In a lot of cases, this results in a dirty port. Basically, what you need to do to fix this issue is that you need to take some Q-tips and a bit of isopropyl alcohol 99%. And all you do is that you're going to take some isopropyl alcohol, you're going to put it on your Q-tips, and you're going to rub it inside the port the best you can. And if you need, you can also use something else, but the goal is to clean any dirt that can be in here that could prevent the contact with the nunchuck or any other stuff that you try to connect to your remote. Look at that, it's a bit dirty, it's kind of black here. And if this doesn't work, I will leave a link in the top of the video right here, basically to one of the video I did on how to fix any problem with your nunchuck. So once this is done, you try your nunchuck back in and you check if it's working or not. Another problem you can have with your Wii remote is unresponsive button, or a button that doesn't pop back up, or sticky button. What you can do with this has a lot of chance not to work because it's better to do it from the inside. But what you can do is to try again with Q-tips and isopropyl alcohol to clean the best you can all your button all around, to try to make them pop out of their socket again, just like that. But as I said, there is a high chance that this doesn't work. But before opening the controller, it can be worth giving it a try. Maybe try to soak it in more isopropyl alcohol so the alcohol can go in the crevices of the controller and all the thing like that. And the last thing you can do from the outside of the controller is, after you remove this battery socket, I'll just put it aside. If your controller is not turning on, this can be due to dirty battery contact a bit all over here. Again, if it's just dirt, you try to clean it with isopropyl alcohol the best you can. But if it's battery acid, you should clean it with white vinegar. White vinegar will basically neutralize the acid on the contact that there can be, and it will make your controller be able to give good contact again between the batteries, so it can power up again. But sometimes battery acid goes inside the controller and you need to open it up anyway to give it a better clean. So now that we see how we can fix the controller from the outside, now we're gonna take a look at the inside. To be able to open this controller, I have a 3-wing screwdriver, 2.0 millimeter, and we will be able to remove 4 screws that are located right there on the controller. And once those screws are removed, we will be able to open the controller up. Once the screws are removed, the bottom part of your controller should lift up really easily, and then you might need to work your way out at the top of the controller with a screwdriver. It can be clipped really tight, but mine has already been opened up before, so it's already the tab here are broken. But as you can see, you have a little tab here and a little tab right here that you should try to push it with your screwdriver in order to open it. And you need to do that simultaneously on both sides of the controller, as there is other tab right there, as you can see. So once it's done, the controller will open up like that, and you will have these two parts. Right here you basically have all the button. So if, for example, you're pushing a button and that it's not going back up correctly, it could be the conductive right here that is the mage. In this case, you will need to change it. Sometimes they get used like just here. They tend to open up near the button, the bottom of the button. They tend to splice up these conductive paths. This is like that for any controller, and when they do that, they tend to get stuck down. So if it's the case for you, you just need to replace it, and it will solve your issues. And when you put it back in, you always need to put it with the black dot facing towards you, like that. And it's the same thing for any buttons on here. If you have problem with your speaker, you can also replace it right here. There you do not need any soldering skills. This is basically just going up like this, and you have access to the speaker, and you can replace it with a new one. This one looks perfectly good, so it doesn't need to get replaced. But as you can see, there's a bit of dirt that come right here, but the kind of small speakers grid succeed to catch it up. I will just put back the speaker. As you can see, it's really easy to replace these parts. I just take it off like this and add no big deal for it. And also, if you want to give a good clean to your button, it's really easy to just pop them off, just like this, and you can give them a good clean. And it's pretty easy to put them back in and not to mess anything around, because these have little tabs all around, and your button basically only fits to one place back on your controller. So for example, the one button, it's only fit that way, and it will be on the right side every time you put it like that. Same thing for button number 2, and like that, it's gonna fit perfectly. So if we turn it around, I'm just gonna try not to make anything fall, and everything fall. Your buttons are on the right side. So I'm gonna put everything back in place on that controller, and we're gonna check the other part of the controller, which are the motherboard, and yeah, the motherboard basically. So I will put this part aside, and we're gonna take a look at the other part of the controller. So this is the other part of the controller. You can take it out pretty easily. There's no more screws after that. It could be a bit hard. You can push on the battery connector right here to help you pulling it out. Do it slowly. You don't want to break anything. And here we go. So basically now we are on the motherboard. If you have a button that are not responsive, again, you can try cleaning all the button surfaces with Q-tips and isopropyl alcohol. This can actually solve a lot of your problem just by doing that, and that making sure that all those buttons are clear and that you can see those shiny contact. If needed, you can also give it a little scratch with a metal tool, but be very gently while doing so. You don't want to remove the traces on it. You just want to remove the the dirt on the traces. So always be careful if you decide to do so. This is for the button. You can do the same thing for the B button around. It's just a bit harder to access it. You basically need to lift the 2 tabs on each side of this, and this should pop off just like this. And here is your B button where you can clean it. If needed, you can also change that little conductive pad right here, just as the other button I showed you before. So I'm gonna put this back in place, just like that, and back on the motherboard. Just being careful with the rumble motor right here, not to snap its wire. And also, as I just said, if you have problem with the rumble motor, pretty easy thing to change. You have the rumble motor wire soldered right here, so you unsolder them, then this would slide right out, and you can change it with a new one if you have problem with the rumble motors, just like that, and it goes back right here. So pretty easy stuff to do for the moment. And the last thing about that is about button is basically the sync button. So if your sync button is not working, this button can be faulty right here. So all you need to do, you could try give it a good clean first, and if the clean is not working, you can replace it with a new one. Again, it's basically a normal button that is just soldered by 4 pins right here, so it should not be that hard to remove it and to put a new one in. As you can see, only 4 points right here are holding it in place. So basically just a normal button, and if it doesn't do the job anymore, you can change. Okay, and the problem with this controller is that when I bugged it, it was not turning on at all. This are the most difficult problem that you can solve on a controller, unfortunately, is that when the electricity is not going anywhere. So first thing you need to do, you need to take a look at these contacts right here. If you see anything, give it a good clean with either isopropyl alcohol, or if is there a battery acid, which is kind of blue-green, give it a good clean with white vinegar this time. And you can clean these two contacts right here, and the twos that are in here, you can also clean them if you see that they are dirty, and this can come off pretty easily. You try to push it out of its jacket, and you can even push it from the other side of the controller right here, and you should be able to remove it with no real problem. So once you have cleaned that, if it's still not working, not turning on at all, you can take something like a multimeter like this one, and you can start tracking where the contact goes. So I put it in continuity mode, just like this, and when it beeps, it's because the electricity is going on. And what you do is that you start always by the where the battery touches, and you try to go around to see if the contact is going well. So for example, the spring goes to the metal part, and it's important to test that because this is the first contact it makes. And if it doesn't go well, it's because there's something on, there's some dirt or battery acid here that prevent the contact from even going to the connector. And in this case, this particular remote, the problem that it was having is that this spring right here was not even making a good contact with the metal part beside it. So I need to clean it because there was battery acid that prevented the contact between the spring and the metal connector, if we can say so. So this spring can be removed pretty easily. What you can take is that you take, for example, just a metal part right here. You put it into the hook. You will push on the spring and on your screwdriver at the same time. And look at this. This just come out. And you can just slide it up like this. Dump it in white vinegar, for example, let it react a little bit from the battery acid to come out. Take the time to clean everything else that was not accessible here, and once it's done, you just put it back in. Basically, you slide those 2 pins back in. Here we go. And once this is back, you basically just push it back on his little hook, and here we go, it's being replaced and a good clean. And now also be careful not to bend the metal too much because it will not fit back on the controller. So try to keep it straight as much as possible. And if this is still not working, now you need to trace the pin that we just tested, and you need to look around on the controller to see where it goes, and this can be a bit difficult. And I can give you 2 hints in order to do so. Basically, there is the test point 304 right here that is linked to this connector, and there is the test point 206 right here that is linked to this connector. So this can give you an idea if it's going where it needs to go. And if they are not going there, it's already giving you a good idea that there might be a problem with the solder you can somewhere, and that you need to do further investigation. And you can also test it to the side by putting it right, and you can test it to the side right here to see if it's going through the board. Same thing for the other side, just like that. And basically, these are the best advice I can give you for a dead controller. You just need some time to be a bit lucky with your investigation to know exactly what is wrong, because the traces can be a bit hard to follow, especially if you don't have any experience with these types of device. If you've gone up to this part and you still didn't find a way to fix your controller, I'm really sorry for you. Maybe type your problem in the comment and I will see if I can help you to fix it. But now it's time to reassemble the controller, and I'm gonna give you some tips in order to do so. So once you put everything back in that part of the controller, like we just saw in the sooner in the video, you take the I suggest that you take the motherboard and that you place it just like that over the button, because if you start to swing this around without the motherboard, there is a good chance that the button will just fall out. So then you take the bottom part of the controller, and the most difficult thing here is to line up the B button correctly and to line up the battery connectors correctly too. So you start doing it the best you can, and you try to do it just like this. So I think here the battery connector is giving it a bit hard. And now the B button, so the B button is in, battery connector is in. Now you can try to clips back here. And all you got to do, put back the screws, put back this little battery door right here, and once it's done, your controller is reassembled. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and have a nice day.